Hi guys, how's it going? David O'Sullivan here, giving you my review of Disney's Moana.
For generations, this peaceful island has been home to our family. But beyond our reef, a great danger is coming. Legend tells of a hero who will journey to find the demigod Maui. And together, they will save us all.
Now Moana is the latest animated feature from Disney, and it tells the story of this young girl called Moana who is stuck on this island, but yet she feels a calling to the ocean. She desperately wants to leave the island and go out on a quest to the outside world, and then one day she decides to go for it, to explore the outside world, to find the demigod Maui and to save her land and her people. Now Moana for me was not one of the best Disney films, but it was still a thoroughly entertaining movie that I think the whole family can enjoy. And although I don't think this is the best animated film of the year, I definitely think it is the most entertaining and the best suited for families with young kids. For me, one of the best things about this film was the visuals. It just looks stunning, gorgeous visuals, rich, bright, vivid colours and beautiful photorealistic environments. Although I don't think this is one of the best films of the year, I definitely think it's one of the best looking films of the year. This film was just so intrinsically cinematic, it was striking to look at, and it was also refreshingly different visually from any other Disney film. It had its own distinctive look and identity, and it was great to see a new culture and locale that we'd never seen before in any other Disney film finally represented on screen in a Disney movie. It was so great to see. Yes, we've kind of come close to it before with like Lilo and Stitch, but this is the first time that we're really seeing this kind of culture, this kind of lifestyle, and these kind of environments depicted in a big Disney movie. Another one of the highlights of this film for me, and one of the best things, was the music. This for me is definitely one of the best scores of the year, and I would say the best music of any Disney film since The Lion King. It was that good. It kind of had echoes of Avatar, The Lion King, and had an almost African tribal feel to it. I just loved the fact that it really kind of embodied the spirit of the characters. There were so many musical numbers in this film that were just so uplifting and joyous and just so much fun to watch. I think the music was that good that I could really see this film being a great musical on the West End or on Broadway. I think it would make a great musical, because for me, even though I really liked the film, I think it was an even better musical than it was a film. The music was just terrific all round. However, I can't go throughout this review without mentioning the performances. Auli'i Cravalho, I hope I'm not butchering the pronunciation of that name, but she was just a revelation to me as Moana. She was just a superb performer in both acting and singing. She did a really great job. She embodied that character so well. And Moana was also a great new flagship Disney character who wasn't just your average stereotypical Disney princess. She was a strong, independent character capable of taking care of herself and doing what she wanted to do when she wanted to do it. And I just loved that. It was a great message, I think, for young kids, especially young girls, that could look up to this character, and she wasn't just a damsel in distress or just a dumb stereotypical Disney princess. She was a character who was strong, independent. She could do what she wanted to do. She was resourceful, and she could do pretty much whatever she wanted to do on her own. And I love that. But oh my god, I have to mention Dwayne Johnson as Maui. He just absolutely smashed it in the role, and for me, I think this is probably one of the best voice performance to character combinations we've had in a Disney film since probably Robin Williams' The Genie. He was just so great. He really became that character to the point where you couldn't imagine anybody else doing the voice for that character. Dwayne Johnson just was that character, and even though I'm not the biggest Dwayne Johnson fan, I loved him in this film. And what really blew me away was not only was he a great performer in terms of the voice acting, but he was also a great singer as well. I was sitting there like, no, surely he's not going to be a great singer, he's not going to be that great. And then he started singing, I was like, oh my god, what can Dwayne Johnson not do? It's like he can do everything. He's just so good. He did such a great job in the role, and he just absolutely smashed it. I also love the whole fantastical swashbuckling adventure vibe of this film. It was a great family fantasy adventure film that I think everyone will really enjoy, and it was just so thoroughly entertaining and just so much fun to watch. I really got to emphasise that. If I could only pick one word to describe this film, it would be fun, because it was really just so much fun. I was consistently engaged from beginning to end. It was very fast moving. I never got bored once. I think it did hit a little bit of a lull between the midway point and this scene with a crab, but other than that little part, which I still liked, I think the rest of the film was just firing on all cylinders and just consistently entertaining, always engaging, and I didn't have one problem with the pacing of this film. I just absolutely loved it. thoroughly entertaining, so much fun from start to finish. In fact, the only real criticism I have for this film is that even though it was a tremendous amount of fun and an extremely enjoyable film, it did stick very close to the tried and tested Disney formula, which wasn't necessarily a bad thing, because even though it was very formulaic and predictable in terms of it having all the expected elements and following the same generic story pattern of pretty much every Disney film, it was still really fun to watch, and it didn't detract from my overall enjoyment of the film. It would have been refreshing to see it stray from the predictable Disney formula and do something slightly different, but at the end of the day, it was still an entertaining film. My only other criticism with this film would be the inclusion of the comedic chicken character. I get why it was there. This film needed that comic relief part. It needed something to fill that role. But the funny thing is, I don't think it really needed that. There was already a lot of humour in this film that really worked. Humour that came about naturally from the characters interacting with one another, that they didn't really need that comedic sidekick character in the chicken. It was ultimately an unnecessary addition. It was inconsequential to the plot and it didn't really need to be there. However, what I will say is that it was a funny character and it did make me laugh. And to give credit where credit's due, it did do one thing right near the end of the film at the climax that gave it importance. So I was like, okay, the darn chicken proved its worth in the end. Overall, Moana may not be one of Disney's finest, but it was still a thoroughly entertaining ride and one of their best films of recent years. With terrific voice performances, stunning visuals, and a plethora of wonderful music, Moana may follow the predictable Disney formula, but it is still a great fantasy adventure film that the whole family can enjoy. With that being said, I'm going to give Moana 4 stars and say that Moana is definitely worth checking out. And there we have it, that wraps up my review of Disney's Moana. Have you seen the film yet? And if so, what do you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, if you like this, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, make sure to click subscribe to see more. But for now, I've been David O'Sullivan. I'll see you next time.